Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Brunswick, Maine, on this first Sunday after Easter, when spring and our hopes are both gaining momentum. My name is Paul Peranteau, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. Today's service will be led by our Director of Religious Exploration, Toben Cooney-Callnan, along with the Adult Faith Formation Group Following Your Path. This group met for 5 weeks with Toben as their facilitator, and they will be sharing some of their thoughts and experiences from this class during the church service. Our pledge drive is prolonged. We thank very much those who have made a pledge and urge those members who have not yet pledged to please do so soon. Our charity with soul for this month is Maine Family Planning, a nonprofit organization founded in 1971 by a group of grassroots activists dedicated to the idea that everyone should have access to high-quality, affordable reproductive health care, comprehensive sexual health education, and the right to control their reproductive lives. Please give generously. I have one further announcement. We have a special meeting of the congregation immediately after the service next Sunday, April 18th. The board has completed the process of selecting our settled minister search team, and the purpose of the meeting is to seek congregational approval for the group of 7 members we are recommending to serve in this very important role. The meeting will take place via our regular Zoom coffee hour connection. I hope you all can come. Once again, welcome. We hope you find the service meaningful.
Hello and good morning. My name is Toben and I serve as your Director of Religious Exploration. One of my absolute favorite things about being a Unitarian Universalist is that we are a community of seekers. We are a people who are more concerned with how we show up for the journey than we are about what we find at the end of it. And most of us know there really is no end to the journey. I had the wonderful opportunity to be part of the journey for a few folks who took a class that I led called Following Your Path. And it was just a wonderful experience for me. We did a lot of looking at poetry, asking big questions, and trying out a few different spiritual practices and sharing them with each other. So today for our service, you're going to hear from a couple of the people who were part of that workshop and hear a little bit about their spiritual path and some of the things that they've picked up along the way. I really hope you enjoy it. It's been lovely to get to know these folks better, and I'm super happy to be able to share that with you all.
our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind. Seeds for the soul are laid in store. Nurtured in love and conscience refined. With body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun. Winter to spring and summer to fall. The chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then. Gather in hope, compassion and strength. Gather to celebrate once again.
Nature and our seventh principle are a really big part of the Unitarian Universalist experience. So today, for our Time for All Ages, I decided to go out into nature to lead you in a meditation. I hope you enjoy. Today we are out in a very peaceful setting, and I thought we would do a little bit of a meditation on peace. So the first thing you need to do is set yourself comfortably in your seat. Make sure your back is nice and tall, nice and strong, but that your heart is wide open. So maybe put your hands down by your side, just open those shoulders up. And then you're gonna make sure that your feet are flat on the floor. Maybe imagine them as your anchors to the earth. So you can keep your eyes open, you can soften your gaze, or you can shut your eyes if that feels most comfortable. So what we're gonna do in this meditation is we're going to think about the word peace, and we're gonna picture that word, or picture that feeling in our hearts. And we're gonna do that every time we breathe in. We're gonna breathe in the word peace. And when we exhale, we're gonna think about or feel in our hearts the word love. And we're gonna exhale love out into the world. So let's take a nice deep breath and breathe in peace. Nice exhale. That love right out into the world. Breathe in peace. Exhale. Breathe out love. One more time. Breathe in peace. And exhale love. That meditation is an easy one that you can take with you anywhere and practice wherever you are. I hope you enjoyed it.
Hi, I'm Sienna Dode. I've been a member at UUCB for 14 years. I discovered my soul quite by accident. About 40 years ago at Heritage Universalist Unitarian Church in Cincinnati, Ohio. I will be forever grateful for that personal, emotional, and spiritual awakening. I was an active member at Heritage for 26 years. It was my first experience joining a church, my first experience writing a newsletter, teaching Sunday school. It was my first experience serving on a board, lay leading a service. At 30-something, it was the first time in my life that I felt whole. As a free spirit, I struggle on this earth plane. Free spirits are a misunderstood minority. Luckily for me, UUs embrace the opportunity to learn from others, including others different from themselves. Hallelujah for that. Not knowing what we were doing or seeking, 3 friends of mine and I decided to start a UU women's meditation group on Sunday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Yes, a UU church was the first place I ever tried to meditate, but just the beginning of a long-term commitment to a daily spiritual practice. I moved to Maine in November of 2007 after a terrible, depleting 6-year divorce. To 1, be closer to aging parents in Massachusetts, and 2, to refresh my life with a new start. One of the most sacred experiences of my life happened in Bath, Maine, in my own living room while I was alone. Within a year of moving to Maine, my father, who is bipolar, had already checked out from life. He was literally waiting to die. It didn't take long for him to start to decline physically. By spring, he was hospitalized for pneumonia. The prognosis did not look good. My mom decided to have him discharged and brought home to die. That Saturday, I had plans to attend a craft show in Portland, Maine. As I was driving on 1 South, a force took over, and I missed my exit. But I just kept on going until I reached Lincoln, Mass, and my parents' condo. Most of my immediate family was there, and there were 2 hospice aides. I said hello and excused myself, told everyone I just drove up to say goodbye to Dad and wasn't going to stay very long. Within 35 minutes, I was back on the road again. I had never said goodbye to anyone before, never thanked anyone for being in my life before. I'd never told anyone I would always love them and never forget them. It's a 2.5-hour ride back to Bath, Maine. I cried all the way home, and I don't cry easily. Tears of release, tears of awareness, tears of gratitude. Monday morning, I prepared for a gratitude meditation. I cleared off my coffee table, laid down a striped magenta cloth and a brass candle snuffer. I got out my small crystal candle holder, a pale yellow taper candle, and my special little matchbox I bought at a UUCB RE Christmas sale, decorated by our church youth. I took 3 deep, cleansing breaths, lit the candle, and gently closed my eyes. About 20 minutes later, I was just beginning to open my eyes and reacquaint myself with my surroundings. I went to blow out the candle when the phone rang. It was my older brother, Tom, calling to let me know that Dad had just passed peacefully. What I wanted to say was, I know. What I actually said was, wow. Okay, thanks for calling. I'd really like to go meditate now, and I'll check in with everyone again in a little while. I look a lot like my dad. Heard that all my life. But at that fleeting moment, our souls were connected. The Follow Your Path workshop was wonderful. Toben planned just enough material and opportunity for discussion. But I particularly loved the weekly ritual at the end of class when he would ask us to help him blow out the chalice.
Myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. Wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
I like to begin each morning by reading poetry. It is a way that I find I can center myself, find a quiet place within myself. In the past few years, I have often returned to a poem, a favorite of mine, that I particularly like. It's entitled Hope by Liesl Mueller. After COVID forced everything to shut down, I began to memorize the poem because I wanted to carry the images of hope that she offers us. Hope. It hovers in dark corners before the lights are turned on. It shakes sleep from its eyes and drops from gills of mushrooms. It explodes in the starry heads of dandelions turned prophets. It sticks to the green wings of angels that sail from the tops of maple trees. It sprouts in each occluded eye of the many-eyed potato. It lives in each earthworm segment, surviving cruelty. It is the motion that runs from the eyes to the tail of a dog. It is the mouth that inflates the lungs of the child that has just been born. It is the singular gift we cannot destroy in ourselves, the argument that refutes death, the genius that invents the future, all we know of God. It is the serum that makes us swear not to betray one another. It is in this poem, trying to speak.
Good morning. I'm Ward Clark. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to speak with you about my experience of the excellent adult RE program Toben led last month. In an early session, he had us create a timeline where we noted the key spiritual experiences of our lives. My timeline begins in the mid-50s with my mom and dad taking me to worship services at the local congregational church. What I remember most about those services is the choir and the congregation singing hymns. I have a very vivid memory of a man who sat in the pew ahead of us one Sunday who sang with a very low voice. In high school, my best friend encouraged me to join the varsity choir, where I discovered that I was a bass. Catherine and I were married in 1966. Our daughters were born in 1967 and 1969 in Oberlin, Ohio, where I was working for the college. In 1970, our family moved to Washington, D.C., where our community involvement centered around 3 co-ops: the food co-op named Glut, a daycare co-op named Amazing Life Games, and a babysitting co-op. A member of the daycare co-op introduced us to Divine Light Mission, a path led by 14-year-old Guru Maharaji. A key teaching of Divine Light Mission was to devote ourselves to satsang, service, and meditation. Satsang is a Sanskrit word meaning gathering together for the truth, or more simply, being with the truth. Service is simply selfless action, and meditation was silent meditation during evening satsang sessions at the ashram or at home. In 1976, a motorcycle tour lured us to rural New England, and in 1977, we moved to Townsend, Massachusetts, and soon discovered the Ashby First Parish UU Church in the next town. And we were pleased to discover that First Parish had a food co-op. Several members of the congregation were members of a local singing group called On Wings of Song, and they encouraged me to join. And it was just a joy rehearsing every Wednesday night so that we could perform 2 or 3 weekends a month in the greater Boston area, singing songs of peace, reverence, and harmony. And I was just carried away by the music and the experience of performing. Our group went on hiatus in 1986 when our leader moved to Colorado. The group reformed in 1990 as a recording studio group, and during the next decade, we recorded 15 albums of spiritual music from around the world. On New Year's Day, 2017, Ashby First Parish Church had a casual service, which was our custom when there would be low attendance. We met in the living room section of the parish hall and sat around talking about New Year's resolutions. One of my resolutions was to finally create my music blog that I had been planning for years. And by the end of the day, I had posted 3 videos on Ward's Positive Music playlist on Facebook. It's been a joy since then, posting new videos. And at this point, I think there are 150 videos up. On Wings of Song had a reunion in the summer of 2019, where we decided to get together for a recording weekend in spring 2020 to record 4 videos. A steering committee meeting for the recording sessions that happened in Freeport in October enabled me to take a break and see Suede in performance at UUCB and to attend the service the next morning. It's the only service that I've attended in the sanctuary. In closing, I'll respond to 2 questions that Toben posed for us to consider. Well, 2 questions of many that he posed, that he gave us. Those questions are, what is your understanding of the divine? And what does being a UU mean to you? On February 2nd, I posted a video of Julia Quadrain, cantor of the Central Synagogue in New York City, singing a song called Sanctuary. And she opened with this introduction. There's a verse from Exodus that we read this week, which says, "Build for me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them." It says them, meaning God may dwell among them, the people, rather than it, the sanctuary. This is the idea that God isn't contained within any particular physical space, but rather exists in the spaces between people and in the relationships we have with each other. I have found a cyber sanctuary at the UU Church of Brunswick. Thank you.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape the path of wisdom. Deepen my trust, help me to see. Spirit of love, come to me, come to me.
My name is Carolyn Wollen, and I was in Toben's class this spring, and he shared with us a beautiful poem that meant a lot to us, and so I wanted to share it with a wider audience. The name of the poem is Of Course It Hurts, and it's by a Swedish poet, Ambrosia. And the name of the poem in Swedish, according to my friends, is Ja visst gör det ont. Yes, of course, it hurts when buds are breaking. Why else would the springtime falter? Why would all our ardent longing bind itself in frozen, bitter pallor? After all, the bud was covered all winter. What new thing is it that bursts and wears? Yes, of course it hurts when buds are breaking. Hurts for that which grows and that which bars. Yes, it is hard when drops are falling, trembling with fear and heavy hanging, cleaving to the twig and swelling, sliding, weight draws them down, though they go on clinging. Hard to be uncertain, afraid and divided. Hard to feel the depths attract and call, yet sit fast and merely tremble. Hard to want to stay and want to fall. Then, when things are worst and nothing helps, the tree's buds break as in rejoicing. Then, when no fear holds back any longer, down in glitter go the twigs' drops plunging. Forget that they were frightened by the new. Forget their fear before their flight unfurled. Feel for a second their greatest safety. Rest in that trust that creates the world. This is obviously a poem about our springtime, but it is also a poem about all transitions. And when I first saw it, I thought about the transition we are all going through with getting the COVID vaccine. We are moving from a time of isolation to a time where we can literally embrace our friends and family, and yes, particularly our grandchildren. But yet there is some hesitation. We are reluctant to give up or walk out of the isolation we have spent in for the last year. So I hope that this poem will help all of us to gracefully move out of that isolation back into communication. And it's okay if it is hard to want to stay and want to fall. Thank you.
Looking back and moving forward along my path. Childhood influences, or the absence of them. Curiosity and resonance with ideas of reincarnation, forces and beings I couldn't see, a brief encounter with the narrowness or rigidity of religious dogma, resulting in a lengthy resistance to the idea of faith and God, etc. Self-reliance becomes my chosen form of faith, my credo, until that load became too much to carry, lonely and tired. A spiritual mentor arrives, offering another way. The idea of faith and trusting in another source for guidance, strength, and comfort. I thought I'd found it. Sudden and inexplicable loss took it away. Adrift, searching, yearning, resisting, back to self-reliance as a chosen source of faith. Searching and exploring, not sure what or where to put my faith. What do I believe in? Do I have a personal credo? Gives rise to the question, what is a credo? Webster's dictionary defines it as an idea or set of beliefs that guide a person or group's actions. Armed with this deeper understanding and the company of several people from UUCB, I see now that I have a credo that goes beyond that of self-reliance. I believe in the power and mystery and comfort that I receive from the natural world. I believe in acceptance and non-judgment of self and others, that there is good in all people and that we are connected by our common human needs, that we are all deserving of forgiveness and second chances, and that healing and connection can happen when we are able to see each other through the lens of empathy and compassion for self and others. I'm still following the path. I have more questions than answers, I think, but perhaps that is an important part of faith and spirituality, or at least the brand of it that works for me. To close, here's a poem by Rumi, who expresses so eloquently that spirit of non-judgment and acceptance at the core of my personal credo. It's entitled The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Rumi.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
During the Following Your Path workshop, we did a lot with poetry. It seemed to be something that we all really spiritually connected to. And so the poem I'm going to share with you comes from a wonderful book that was recently introduced to me, and I'm excited to share the book and the poem with you. This is also a poem that I used to close our first and last meetings, and so I figured it's the perfect closing word for today's service. I hope you enjoy. From Woke, A Young Poet's Call to Justice, written by Mahogany L. Brown, with Elizabeth Acevedo and Olivia Gatwood, with illustrations by Theodore Taylor III. The Ability to Be, by Mahogany L. Brown. The ways in which our bodies may move against the wind or the water, climb stairs or swing high in a child's park, both arms in flight, all on their own, is different. Sometimes we have sight. Sometimes we have the sense of smell. Sometimes we are working with a different set of skills altogether. There is more than one way to exist. There is more than one way we can learn how to speak with our hands or our eyes. there are different tones to evoke a symphony of laughter. Our fingers and toes, our arms and torsos, each courageous cloud, a thunderous declaration echoing, "I am here." Because the smallest things that make us up are the largest strokes of beauty that color us brilliant. But the heart, oh my, how our hearts beat the same.